Hi, welcome back, Kings and Queens, y'all. We are back and we are talking the astronomer, HR chief people officer. Listen, Kristen Cabet. Thank you for whoever dropped it in my chat. You're like, listen, you're saying her name wrong. This is how you formally pronounce it. Okay, all right, all right. Kristen Cabet. Thank you for that heads up to the viewer. Kristen Cabet has resigned following her cheating scandal with CEO Andy Byron. Girl, it's about time. You should have been on the first thing smoking out the door. You set the example. Like, this done pissed me the hell off. Girl, you should have took your hold on, Queen Sheba. Calm down. Girl, you should have set the example. You are the HR chief people officer. What the helly? You mean to tell me it took over a week and a half for you to pack your shit and leave that office? Bah humbug. How dare you? How dare you? This has pissed me off more than the kissing scandal and the affair itself because HR sets the standard for the corporate culture. And if you have your HR chief that thinks she's above it all, girl, you write the policies, the rules, and the regulations, and you mean to tell me you were frolicking and roaming freely around the cabin, throughout the cabin at Astronomer because of your privilege and your position as the HR chief? This is a slap in the face to the employees. The fact that that it took you this long. As a matter of fact, you should have set the standard. You should have been the first one out the door before he put his resignation on the table. And if the truth be told, they said you only resigned after they announced that they will be conducting a thorough investigation. And I have a funny feeling and a sneaky speech. I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion. I think I know why. Let's talk about it. For those of you who are just tuned in or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
I'm just over here shaking my head. Astronomer HR chief Kristen Cabet has resigned, y'all, following her cheating scandal and the company's now ex-CEO, Andy Byron. How do y'all feel about that? How do y'all feel about that? That she drug her feet, considering all of the pain that she's caused, not only to his family, but to hers. That as a woman, she had the audacity to remain in her seat and only raised her hand to leave after they announced that they would be conducting a thorough investigation. A spokesperson for the company told Page Six today that they can confirm that Kristen Cabet is no longer with Astronomer. She has resigned. You should have done it the next day. If you were any type of healthy professional, C-suite executive, as you call yourself, you should have left the next day. Her resignation comes days after the AI and database company announced it was launching a formal investigation into the scandal and placed Cabet and Byron on leave. The freaking audacity. They had to come down with the hammer before she would pack her shit and leave. The audacity. Listen, I'm horrified. I feel so disrespected, and I don't even work there. I feel so freaking disrespected. And if these are the types of people that you are recruiting and placing in these high profile positions, astronomer, then shame on you. You got to cut the snake off from the head. You got to go in and completely revamp that entire culture. Get everybody up out of there. I would come in with the new CEO. I would clean house. Anybody that's been on there 5 years or longer in a C-suite position, I would be looking to replace them if I were the board of directors. Because somebody should have tapped her ass on the shoulder and said, I think that's your key to leave. The moment you realize that this shit went viral, that's your key to leave and tip out very softly and close the door quietly on the behalf of the company and the employees that are there that have worked very hard to keep that company afloat. And the fact that you didn't gives me pause to say, what type of narcissistic trait is this that you, as the chief HR people officer, would think that it's appropriate for you to sit back and relax and cross your legs and think that you can stay when the CEO has left? That's you some kind of wonderful, Miss Kristen. Now, she was placed on leave, but she did not resign. And I guess if I had to guess or assume, it once the formal investigation was launched, it's almost like she had to be forced out. And what I truly believe is that you didn't want to be found out. Because now we want to know, how long have you been sleeping with this married man, Miss HR Chief? Astronomer they came out and they wrote a statement on LinkedIn, and it goes something like this. Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability. The company wrote via LinkedIn, July 18th. Okay. When was the kissing scandal? Let's do the math. I think it was a week ago, but let's do the math just to be safe. It happened a week ago. It happened a week ago. It happened on July 18th. 2 days later, on a Saturday, the CEO resigned. Molly McButter, aka Kristen Cabet, decided that she's going to take it upon herself to sit it out and wait it out. Okay? Hostage negotiations. That she's going to hold this corporation hostage. You should have been the first one to leave as a woman in an HR position. You've brought shame to yourself. You've brought shame to your husband. You've brought shame to your family. You've brought shame to the organization as an HR lead. You should have been the first one out the door if you were truly sorry on the behalf of all of the women in that organization that have really had to work their way and fight for their positions and not sleep or F their way to the top. You should have been the first thing up out of there. Listen, if I were a corporation, you couldn't pay me to hire her. It's not the fact that you made a mistake, an intentional mistake. And when we start to think about ethics, morals within the corporation, it's how you handled it. The fact that you didn't take a level of accountability quick, swift, fast, and in a hurry. You sat on your mistake. That's a level of arrogance that cannot and should not be tolerated. The board of directors have initiated a formal investigation into this matter, according to a spokesperson at Astronomer, and we will have additional details to share very shortly. That statement in and of itself is what got her ass up out of there. When they say we're going to have additional details to share, that's the only thing that probably prompted her to pack her Tory Burke bag, clutch her pearls, grab her heels, and get the hell out of Dodge before they really start to expose how long she's been sleeping with this man. And she indeed did not earn her way, but she slept her way to the top. And only that prompted her, and not because she's sorry, but she didn't want to be found out or exposed any further. On July 16th, Byron and Cabet were caught kissing on a what is it? What do y'all call it? A jumbotron, while spending time together at the Coldplay concert in Massachusetts. Woo! What do you say? Whoa! Look at these two. That was so fun. That was so funny. The band's lead singer, Chris Martin, said happily as the camera showed Byron holding Cabet from behind. Once the couple noticed they were on the Jumbotron, the CEO immediately ducked out of view while Cabet hid her face in apparent embarrassment. She wasn't too embarrassed. She took her ass back to work and acted like she belonged there and she did no harm, no wrong. She sat up and she refused to walk away and acknowledge her wrongdoing by setting an example for the people that she hires and fires. Lord have mercy. The audacity.